there's a bear in the woods.
Right, come on, you fatty. Come on, fatty.
I don't even know who lives in there or what the hell's going on there.
Could I sleep in there today? Oh, no room.
And we're on the way there. Ignore the fart. We go, and a bit of that, and a bit of
Singers, James, singers I've got. My pedal broke, man. And thanks to Showdown Bros, Mickey's on the most useless street in the world. Come on!
Always keep a shoe in your kitchen department, guys. Don't worry, it's the COVID talking. It's probably wild boar, a few bears, a lot of women washing their cars saying hi on the side of the road.
Go on, Mick, feel it, Mick, feel it. I might be going mad.
Want to see me underwear?
With another season in the record books, the drivers usually rest up and start preparation for the upcoming season. However, this season the drivers have decided to let their hair down and revisit one of the oldest and longest serving tracks in American motorsports. Who will be able to survive the endurance that is Lime Rock? We'll find out soon as we get ready to watch this special event, the Camel GT Grand Prix of Connecticut. And you'll see it all live here on the Global Sim Racing Channel. Hi, I'm Craig King, and with me in the booth is Adam Lindgren. Behind the scenes is our director, Ryan Bauer, and he is using cameras provided by Dougie Beard. Lime Rock has had different looks over the years, and today is the return of the classic layout. So let's head over to our track guide for more information.
Welcome to Lime Rock Park. Located in the northwest corner of Connecticut, this unassuming little track has garnered a surprisingly passionate following. Its unique aspects create a circuit not only full of character, but consistently challenging even to modern race cars. While it has 4 different possible layouts, on the classic version, only 7 corners are split along a 1.5 mile track with just a single one of them turning left. Though simple in appearance, most drivers will tell you that trying to be fast here is anything but. The run down the front stretch into Big Bend offers pretty much the only viable passing spot, but it's a double apex right-hander which lures drivers into taking it too fast. The uphill is also scary quick considering its lack of runoff and can sometimes cause cars to get airborne over its crest. Then, on the opposite end, the downhill sends cars diving into a quick sweeper, which requires a good exit speed in order to defend or attack back into the first corner. Modern racing mostly uses the more recently built chicanes, especially at the uphill. But one of the most unusual facts about this track is that the races are never held on Sunday. Due to a legal agreement with a nearby church, events must take place on Fridays and Saturdays. The confines around this place are tight, the passing opportunities are few, and mistakes are usually punished with race-ending damage. With most other road courses now being built with upwards of 3 and 4 miles in length, this track stands out. But in an age of multi-million-dollar facilities and flashy buildings, this quaint small circuit manages to keep fans coming back with its intimate and grassroots setting.
Well, this is one of those tracks that is so small that it is very well liked by the community. Adam, what are we expecting on this little tiny track today?
Absolute chaos, Craig. That's what we're expecting, to be honest with you. This is a 1.53 mile or 2.462 kilometer 7-turn track. This is the 7-turn layout, the one that does not have the chicane before the West Bend. And so basically what that means is you come around West Bend at about 120, 140 miles an hour, depending on which class you're driving. And you go up over that hill and your car takes flight. Doesn't matter what car you drive, doesn't matter how much downforce it has. The elevation is so drastic that the car just takes off on you, and we're going to see that happening a lot from the Audis and the GTOs today. Around this track, the GTPs definitely feel the most at home, and that's because their downforce really allows them to go around these corners fairly quickly, but they're definitely on the edge of grip all the time, especially with the rear left tire, which gets a lot of abuse around here. The Audis feel pretty at home around here too, but what's going to make them not feel at home is for sure the multi-class racing with the GTPs. The GTPs and the GTOs have a time delta of only about 10 seconds around here, but around a lap that only takes 50 seconds for the GTOs and 40 seconds for the GTPs. A 10-second delta, that's a fourth of the lap that just disappears on you as far as the speed delta between these classes. And on top of that, add to it that it's a narrow track with only 2 lanes. This place is going to get crazy, Craig.
Yeah, just let's just say that again. 40 seconds lap time. When I was watching some of the guys get ready for this race and they were talking about the lap times, I was like, no, I don't think I know any other class apart from high-end Formula cars that would go around this track this fast. So it's one of those tracks that we're really having to watch out for. But as we were saying, this is the Camel Grand Prix, and there it is. It is the GP of Connecticut. It's a 40-minute race, and of course it is an open setup, open to everyone as they have come in. There'll be no scheduled pit stops in a 40-minute race. I haven't done the maths, but one spare car, because let's be brutally honest, you kind of need a spare car when it comes to line rock. Now, they say that people usually get the impression, oh, it's too small, it's too fast for multi-class racing nowadays. That's not the reason nowadays. The main reason is they can't fit everything in this tiny little paddock. As I said, it's the third oldest racetrack in America. I'm trying to think, Adam. Willow Springs is the oldest. What comes between those two? Do you know?
Maybe Summit Point. I'm not sure. It's been a hot minute since I did my research on the history of the tracks.
Yeah, I mean, to be fair, I don't know the history. I know, of course, as we just see, this is the final bit of practice going around. You can see the chaos that you get going through here. Let's just watch Lars Olsen right here. He's happy, and then he goes back to the buffer cam and up to the uphill corner. Here he is. Watch this. Every time, the cockpit doesn't show and doesn't really give an impression of that force that you're feeling. You're 4 wheels off there, Adam, aren't you?
Yeah, depending on how fast you're going. The GTPs can usually keep the rear tires on the ground, but the front tires definitely go, and that creates a lot of instability for them. The GTOs tend to get 4 wheels off the ground going over that jump if they're taking it at the speeds that they can. They're not going to have a chance to do that much today because of the traffic. The GTPs will catch the GTOs within about 2 laps, is my guess. And those 2 laps go by in about a minute and a half. So it's going to be a real quick moment for the GTPs and the GTOs to battle without the other classes in between, and then it's going to be complete chaos from there on out.
Every time I come and do a line rock broadcast, I think, oh, do I go into the oval mode? Because it is almost like an oval. 40 seconds, it's kind of like the lap times you'd be seeing, not at a super speedway, but it's something like a Michigan or something like that. So I always think, oh, do you go with that? Because the moment I start speaking, hello, half a lap's just gone. So it really is a blink and you miss it. And this corner here with Javier de Olmo practicing with Javier Baca in front of him, that is a tough corner itself, downhill, and you've just got to watch out for the bumps. But of course, that's a lovely little send there between the two of them just in practice, and then into the big bend, and you can see Alex off. That is the challenge that the multi-class is going to provide.
Yeah, absolutely, and the Nissans really have to do their best to navigate through the moving chicanes of the Audis, because the Audis are on the edge of grip the whole time around this track, as is usual around most tracks, but with how short this track is, there really isn't much straightaway for them to maneuver around the GTPs. So the GTPs have to cut their way through, and let me tell you, as soon as you go into the bridge, if you try and take away an apex from the Audis at that point, it's going to be the grass for both of you, because the Audis have to turn in at the bottom of the hill exactly at the right time. Otherwise, they slide off track without the help of the GTPs. So If you think the GTO is going to give you that corner, even when they know you're coming, you're dead wrong.
Yeah, it's one of those that I wouldn't say it's the best track to learn multi-class racing, but this is one of the best tracks to learn racing. Of course, it is free content on the platform, so you do get this in a lot of rookie races. Watch Furren here. I love the Big Bend because it's not one corner. As much as he just cut off the apex there, it's not one corner there. It's two corners put together that you have to take a little bit of a wide entry into turn 2, and he just misses it at the right-hander. But that's another one because, from what I understand, that's a lot of throttle modulation there. You're not using brakes, especially here. You're definitely not using brakes down here for Alex. But a lot of the track of these GTPs are going to be throttle modulation.
Here's a moment from Brian Henson. He's going to hold off and not cut off the GTO to that corner. Wise choice there. I know it's not a popular choice. I know it's going to lose you a good 2 seconds. But that's the choice that keeps you alive. And survival is going to be the name of the game here. You were talking about that right-hander before we get to the backstretch. Well, what kind of constitutes the backstretch around here right before you go uphill? That right-hander is slightly banked, and then it immediately bleeds away to a neutral corner. And so when you get onto that, that pitch change, it upsets the rear end of the car. And so if you don't modulate the throttle at that point, the rear end just spins around on you. It can sling you out towards the tire barrier. And the tire barrier is put there because drivers kept hitting that wall so often. And so it's actually closer to the track than it used to be.
You know, it's crazy to think that in proposals to renovate the track, they actually wanted to make the track longer. From what I remember looking at a video and looking at history, you would have basically gone a little bit extra at the exit of the Big Bend. So you would have come down the San Posey Straight, as we just saw here, into the Big Bend. Instead of going here, you would have just gone straight on to another part of the track. Hence why there's more track on the exit there of the first bit, which it really could have been good, but this is it's just something unique about, and I think it's an American thing as well. It's the same when you come to baseball, where they just put little sporting events inside wherever they could find it.
Yes, yeah, that's actually the history of a lot of sporting events around here in America is they stuffed sporting venues into the smallest places that they could find. That's why baseball stadiums are shaped so strangely during the 30s and 40s, because they tried to fit them into cities. All right, switching over sessions now.
Yeah, switching over the session. Give me the Polo Grounds any day of the week just for that. But they're coming in now for qualifying. They get 2 laps, and it is literally going to be a blink and you miss it, because the first man out will be Hugh Haycox. Yes, Hugh Haycox in a GTO with his dad Ian, of course. And the rumor mill, for those that are used to the Camel GT, the rumor mill is Hugh might be driving this car next season after a dominating season in the GTPs. It looks like he wants to make a change to GTO.
Well, I mean, we asked the question, who can challenge Jukka Leskola? And I mean, who better than the reigning GTP champion, Hugh Haycox? We know there are a lot of drivers who will swap, maybe not season to season, but oftentimes year to year between the GTO and the GTP, and many of them are off kilter from each other. Not surprising to see Hugh Haycox jump his way over to the GTO for this special event. I would love to see him in the GTO for the full next season. So hopefully that rumor is true as we watch Andreas Schuster tuck it in as he heads through the first couple of corners.
Yeah, comes around to the Big Bend, and now we'll start going through what can be known as the S's, but it is the left-hander followed by the right-hander. Compromised your entry into that corner to get a really good run here at the right-hander, and he'll come on down using all 4 wheels of the track and that power as he goes by. Alex Ott is currently pole. He's the first man to set a lap over, and look at the save, and that's a 4-wheel drive car as he comes down into the final corners. West Bend, down the hill, 1 shot here for the diving turn. I don't think it's going to be the perfect lap, but it's a lap, and he had to fight that car.
Yeah, and let me tell you, these cars definitely take a lap to get their tires up to temperature, so that realistically was just a cider lap to bank in a time. It looks like he's going to. That's a 50.734. Watching Alex Ott come across the line for his second lap should be faster than his first, and not this time, though. A little slower.
No, it is. Alex Ott with a 39.99 997 or 998. No one is able to combat that at the moment.
Sub 40
Timothy
seconds.
Vaughan.
What?
Sub 40 seconds. And we'll get onto the track temp in a minute, which is why it's even mind-boggling myself when I look at the track temp. But yes, managed to get a sub 40. No one else is getting there. Javier Del Olmo goes pole in the GTOs with a 50.042, beating Timothy Vaughan by 3,000th of a second.
Man, and I love seeing these Audi guys absolutely pull out all the stops to try and duke each other out. It's an exhibition race, realistically. Timothy Vaughan crossing the line again, a 49.932 from Timothy Vaughan, sub 50 seconds for the Audi.
Calm down, Adam, calm down. We've still got more drivers. Timothy Reed comes over the crest. He's currently P2. He did a 40.165 first time by. What can he do here as he just comes down once more, won that last corner, and he gets it hooked up there, kicks up the rear, gets it nice. This looks very good. What can he do? He'll come across the line. I don't think he's got it. He hasn't. And that means that we're going to see Alex Ott on pole. And Luca Lescala, has he got time to do another lap? Of course he's got time to do another lap.
This is actually his first lap, so he waited as long as possible for the track to rubber up a bit before he went out on his qualifying session. Interesting strategy for sure. And he's taking it real slow this first lap. Probably just get the tires underneath and make sure he gets a banker in so he qualifies in a decent position. Right now we only have 8 Audis that have set qualifying times. 55 seconds left. I don't think he's going to get the second lap in. Unless they have
the second lap in. No.
Well, unless they have it set where you can finish the lap after qualifying. It's a hosted session, we have to remember.
Yes, we will look at that. By the way, you can see the temperatures there. Yes, that's 113 Fahrenheit and 45 Celsius. In practice, it got as high as 121 Fahrenheit. And Lescala goes pole by 7,000th apologies. A 49.710.
Unreal. And Yuko's not even taking his second lap. That's all he wrote. And he's just going to drift around for the second lap for fun. Here's Andre Schumacher. He's been real quick in qualifying lately. The question is, can he beat a 49.71? Coming to the line, it doesn't look like it's going to be the case. Crosses the line with a 50.824. Not his best qualifying of the year.
No, not his best qualifying, but qualifying is officially over. So we get to just put our jaws down again at these lap times. Alex Ott, yes, 39.998 with Timothy Reed, P2. Then Bernd Grau with a nice time there in P3, Lars Olsen 4th. Matthias Hadbauer returns in 5th, and Fernando Serrato in 6th. Andrew Medell comes back in 7th, and Alex Ramelow will be 8th. Then Brian Henson will take 9th, and he's the last of the qualifiers, as we've got Aitor Synthetic Lindo 10th, not qualifying, and then quite a few here. Hamilton, Barre-Reese, Daniel Gomez, Carlos Guerrera, Ulf Olsen, Scott Field, Dylan, I believe they're not here now, Dylan Madden, and Christopher Regan. And the GTOs, I think, are a little bit more bunched up.
Yeah, absolutely. Yuko Lescala, 49.711. Javier Del Olmo's 49.718. Great laps for both of them. Timothy Vaughan in 3rd with Hugh Haycox 4th. Andreas Schuster in 5th with Ian Haycox lining up in 6th. The 2 Haycoxes nose to tail in that second lane. Then we got Jamie Hamill-Smith in 7th, Andre Schumacher 8th, John Olsen 9th, and Doug Cloud lining up in 10th. He's the last driver to set a qualifying time with Obe Trangarade. Down here in the GTOs, surprisingly, with Xavier Baca, Ron Reek, and Pasi Hatamaki, rounding out your 14 Audis around here, as well as 17 GTPs.
Yep, 17 GTPs. We did originally have 31. I think we're down to 30 now for the race, which usually we say 30 is a really good number when it comes to a camel race, and 30 is still a very, very crazy number. So we'll just wait there. By the way, Line Rock is joint 3rd oldest in America. Road America and Watkins Glen are older. Sebring, of course, in the 50s, but we shall check that. I did not realize, Adam, that the formation lap starts here on the West Bend.
Yeah, it's a real quick start to this race, which means cold tires for these drivers. The track temp may still be 110. but the tire temps are going to be quite a bit colder than that. So it's going to be interesting to see how the GTPs fare coming over the hill for the first time. That jump's going to be real epic right now.
Yeah, here we go. This is going to be one of the toughest 40 minutes a driver will ever have. Almost 60 laps around Lime Rock, and Alex Ott is going to lead them away as he waits. The pace car goes in, and you can see the GTOs right away. Green flag is gone. Alex Ott is out of there. He's going to take this right away into the first corner. It looks like there's going to be a run from Ferragral, but no, Lars Olsen is going to try and get this round the outside. He gets it round the outside. Everyone gets on by. How's those GTOs looking? They're 3 wide.
3 wide into turn 1. That was Hugh Haycox trying to stick up the inside of Havre Delmo and Yuka Leskala. Havre Delmo able to come out ahead of Yuka Leskala because Yuka was very cautious into the first turns. Now we have drivers coming out of the pits. GTPs are in the midst of these GTOs already because they decided not to take to the grid.
Yeah, starting in the pit, sometimes it's the best, but I'm not sure if this is going to work this time. Daniel Gomez goes past Havre Delmo and Yuka Leskala. It may help Leskala. Not going to help him. He will have to just hold on by. This race is going to be a race of patience. Look at that train of traffic coming down at the West Bend into the final corner of the diving turn. And they're just going to stay bunched up for quite a while. Who's going to be the first one to make a move?
I don't know, but Hugh Haycock's car looks pretty loose, pretty tight, actually. Timothy Vaughn making a pass on him for third of the GTOs. As we go back to the GTP leaders, Timothy Vaughn actually took it too deep into the corner. He's going to go off, and he's going to make contact with that inside barrier. Should be okay to keep going, but he's losing a lot of time, is Vaughn. But that battle for the lead, Alex Ott, Timothy Reed, nose to tail as they dive down the hill.
Nose to tail, they've got Lars Olsen just a second behind. He's still in that slipstream, and it's going to be tough, but that gap doesn't look very big. But 11 seconds up the road is Timothy Vaughn. That 2-lap that Adam was saying earlier, not coming to fruition. Going to be about 4 laps, but even still, they can see that traffic's going to be coming very shortly. Let's just have a quick replay of what happened on that start. You can see Doug Cloud just overshooting the corner there. Always tricky, especially on the first lap.
Yeah, so Doug Cloud and Timothy Reed both going off at the same time, so unfortunately, both of them having to recover. Oh, Hugh Haycox unfortunately makes contact while we're in the replay with Carlos Eduardo Fernandez Guerrera, unfortunately, so he's now fallen back into the clutches of Ian Haycox and Andre Schumacher with a little bit of left front nose damage.
Yeah, they are all coming together, and it's father and son. You can just start to see almost 3 wide there, a little bit of a tap as some of the GTPs come out, and there it is as they come on by. All of a sudden, you've got Hugh just in the battle, but some of the GTPs, they are starting. Well, we got this battle here. They will be coming through the traffic, but this battle here at the front with Lesker and Olmo, stop me if we've said it all season, Adam, but it happens again.
Absolutely. Seeing this battle once again, Yuka Leskala and Havre Delmo. These two, I don't think Del Olmo is going to be kind to Yuka Leskala this time around because there's no points on the line. It's all about the win today. And so Havre Delmo is absolutely duking it out with Yuka Leskala for the lead of this race.
Yeah, you can start to see they're trying to find moves, and they do have GTPs behind them. There is another incident here. This is Fernando Serrato coming around up the hill. Holds on to it, so it's not a moment there. Comes down to the West Bend as he's just going to overshoot. You can see the traffic in front of him. And just get by, but overshoot. And yeah, speed difference there. He could get it, but the guys in front were unable to.
And we had a big, gigantic wreck on the jump right now while we're in replay with Xavier Baca, Andre Schumacher, Fernando Serrato. Laus Olsen's involved. Wow, I don't know who that is in the forest, but he's trying to recover.
Oh, look at that. There's the replay. Look at it. It is a parking lot. Where do you go? And especially at that hill, you're unable to find a way through. And all of a sudden, we're just going to get this replay one more time. Does he just lose it going up the hill? Oh my word. God. Oh, my word. That's not a sight you want to see, even in that camera.
You can't see that sight, Craig. It's a blind crest. There's nothing you can do, and you're airborne. So, I mean, unless a spotter's telling you that there's a wreck there, oh boy. All right, let's take a look at what actually happened here. This is Andre Schumacher, and this is Hugh Haycox going to the inside. Just a little bit of contact sends him spinning, and everyone breaks to try and avoid it, but eventually someone's going to hit you, and it was Laus Olsen who made the primary contact.
Yep, kept the brakes locked down, tried to hold on. It did not work for him. By the way, GTPs are going through the traffic. Alex Ott's gone through the traffic with a 4-second lead over Timothy Reed. Such is the nature of multi-class traffic light right now. And Alex Ramelow trying to find a hole that's not there. And speaking of holes, there is the rear camera as he continues on this little battle right here with Andrew Medell.
Absolutely, the lead in the GTO is still tight between Yuko Leskola and Javier Del Olmo still leading that. They're just up ahead here. This is on Andrew Medell and Alex Ramalho, who's going to try and make it through. Oh boy, tight racing between these guys as they go down the dipper. That's such close stuff. That's exactly how it has to be navigated. Otherwise, you're going to wreck each other.
Battles within battles. I like the term bookmarking when you're trying to put a slower class between you, and he's gone wide. Ramelow's gone wide. He's just caught it at the same time at top, and a touch between Adolfo Leskola and the save by Javier. So much control with that car.
Yeah, Yuko backed off because he understood that that was not contact that he intended to make. He allows Javier Del Olmo to retain that position, but unfortunately, Del Olmo's tires are going to be really hot right now. So Yuko Leskola is going to have an advantage at the moment. Let's take a look at that one again.
Yeah, here we go. Javier Del Olmo, he's just looking now. He sees that car right as well. And then all of a sudden, just did a little bit of a tap. There it goes. There,
you see him steer into it?
Yeah.
He steered into the slide. I mean, like, my gosh, it's like cars all over again.
The best way to go fast is to steer the other way, or whatever the old saying was between those two. They're providing one hell of a battle at the front. And you think, oh, Del Olmo goes wide there. Like I said, that is an optimal line. Compromise the entry to get a really good exit, but there are other battles here. Hello, Hugh Haycox. Hello, Ian Haycox.
Ian Haycox, Hugh Haycox, father, son, duking it out on track in the same class. Oh, it doesn't get better than this. Look at this. A move to the inside from Hugh, and Ian saw what happened to Andre Schumacher, and he decides, you know what? I'm not going to take that same risk.
Oh, there's a spin up ahead. That's the number 28. That is Daniel Gomez. There, a little bit of a moment does get going, but he looks like he's got quite a bit of damage. He'll have to take a move there. Meanwhile, we're just going to get a quick replay of that. While that is happening, does he lose it going up the hill?
Yes, he does, just a little bit.
He does. Oh, it's such a shit. So tough. It's so tough up that hill. Not a lot you can do it. And Leskola and Del Olmo were having a battle while that was going on. Almost had the position to Del Olmo, but continues on. It's the Leskola and Del Olmo show.
Yeah, well, Leskola made the pass there on Del Olmo through Big Ben. So a nice side-by-side moment, and Leskola starting to run away a little bit. You can see how much more aggressive he's being on the throttle, trying to create a gap to Del Olmo so that as the GTPs come back through, and there is the onboard with Yuko Leskola. I was hoping that we'd be able to see this today. Look at how awesome this onboard is. Yuko Leskola has created a green screen effect with his wheel so that we can see what he's seeing in VR, almost like we're in the cockpit with him. Now, obviously, the steering wheel is going to move in a strange way, but this is exactly what he's seeing, and we can see him look into the corners. It's one of the best onboards that I've seen somebody do in VR, and it's so epic.
I want to know how he's done that. That is...
Me too.
I could watch this for days. I'm not looking at the race. I'm just looking at that right now because that is just... That's technology. He had a slide!
Okay,
he had a slide going up the hill.
We do have to go back to P6 of the GTPs because Hamilton, Burrow, Ruiz, Daniel Gomez Jr., Farron Grau, and Fernando Serrato are nose to tail as they're trying to snake their way through the GTOs, and it's starting to get tense as all these guys are bottled up on the front straight. 3 wide now.
3 wide going on, overtaking Alex Ott right behind. He does not want to get involved. And all of a sudden, they're trying to make a move. Farron Grau makes that move a little bit of a touch there with Gomez, and they're still trying to get through. They've got traffic in front with these lead GTP.
Oh, no.
Gomez gets it and a tap there, and Serrato goes, and he hits on the brakes, and Lausalta goes into the back.
Unfortunately, so these guys, the battle breaks up as just a little bit of contact there. The phantom hitbox of the Nissan GTP strikes again, and unfortunately, just a little nose-to-tail contact with these drivers.
Yeah, I don't think Laos realized what was going on. He saw the spin, but no time.
Oh.
You can slow down as much as you want there, but you're not going to be able to slow down if you can't see exactly where it is. There is a battle for P2 in the GTPs. Yes, the GTPs are kicking off as well, as Timothy Reed and Matheus Haddad have been having a little bit of a duel themselves. but that gap has closed up a little bit as Timothy Reed. Look how he's trying to pull away there. But that is Hadval with a little bit of damage. Timothy Reed up ahead. It's just getting held up now by lapped GTP traffic.
Javier Delmo just went off. And he's now in a dangerous position with Hugh Haycock side by side. So Javier Delmo going off in Big Bend, and that's going to allow for Hugh Haycock to go by.
So that puts Del Olmo into P3, and we'll probably get a replay of that, of what happened. Just make sure he's able to protect this position. A little bit of a slide. Let's get a quick replay here. It looks like he
took it
may
too
have
deep.
just got a bit deep.
Yeah, just took it too deep, tried to turn while braking, and the Audi four-wheel drive doesn't like that at all. It's really hard to get the car to stay underneath you when you're trying to make all of the wheels, which are providing power, to turn at the same time as you're braking. It just overwhelms them.
Well, Havidale almost there. He's got Hugh Haycock in front of him. Right behind him is Ian Haycock and Ove Trengarade, who are having their own little battle. Look at that right there. Two battles, and they're almost coming together. And you can start to see that this is where it is. Ove Trengarade again on the GTOs. Hugh Haycock, sorry, on the GTOs. Feels like an invasion right now, and you've got to think that Javier and Ian, they kind of want to fight for the true GTO crown.
This is a different kind of invasion storyline than the one that happened about 40 years ago, but definitely just as epic and interesting one as these battles continue to happen between GTP drivers and GTO drivers, with all of them in the same class right now.
Yeah, and you start to see, are we going to see either of these cars make moves? They're not there. It is a patient battle. Javier Del Olmo, he does feel a little bit quicker. This is going to be a good test though for Javier. All season he's basically been battling Nico Lescala, so somebody new, somebody that you're not used to, especially now with lap GTOs in front. What are you able to get from this? What are you able to do? Because all of a sudden you're seeing Hugh in front of you, and it's not with a yellow name next to him.
Yeah, absolutely. So Hugh Haycock's definitely adjusting to that car for sure in the GTO. He's made a couple of mistakes, made a little bit of contact today, but we're looking at Fernando Serrato as he's trying to still chase down Hamilton Barrera Ruiz for that sixth position in the GTP.
And he does have a little bit of damage on that rear. You can see it's not straight there, but Hamilton goes wide, and all of a sudden, oh, he could not save it. He tried his best to save that, and he does end up in the wall. That was a heavy hit. You can see it all on the side there. I think he has a fast repair still left. He may have to come in for that.
Yeah, so unfortunately a lot of left side damage. That's going to be affecting him down the straights. Hopefully not too much suspension damage for him. Oh, it's sliding around a lot. That car's going to be hard to handle. Now, that was Timothy Reed going by him. Matthias Hobdahl is duking it out with him for the second position as we ride on board with Matthias as they start to head back. They're going to catch Andreas Schuster probably at the worst time, which is coming up over the crest of the hill. This is a bad time to catch a GTO.
He just manages to navigate it. They both managed to navigate it. They are making sure they're keeping it safe. They go down again, but you can see that wing damage is starting to be a little bit of a hindrance for Matthias. And look at the traffic in front. Oh, that is not a sight I ever thought I'd get to see. But Ove just got popped in. Haycock's.
Yeah, Haycock's got boxed in by John Olsen, who's got some damage that he's just recovered from. So Ove Triggered makes the pass on Ian Haycock's. Right now, the GTP Invaders have taken both positions for the GTO regulars.
This is not a good day for the GTO regulars, but I'm sure they're having the time of their life as they try and survive this race. And you see, there's Timothy Reed, there's Matthias Hadval coming by them as they continue on. In Haycock wants to get that position back, but what's it going to take? There's 26 minutes left. They've done 16 laps to GTOs. The GTPs have done, how many have they done? 20 now.
Yeah.
Like, we're still not even halfway.
Riding back on board with Hugo Lescala, currently in the lead where he is most comfortable. 4 seconds ahead of Hugh Haycock, and just trying, at this point, definitely trying to survive. You can see him looking everywhere, looking at the mirrors, looking at the sides, just trying to make sure that he survives this race. Now that he's in the lead, he can manage his pace, manage his drive to make sure he doesn't lose any sort of contact there. That's Timothy Reed streaking by him now as they go over the jump. And then next will be Matthias Hobdahl. Matthias is going to catch him just as they go through the dipper here, and he should be able to get past him before the turn in for the dipper. No, Hobdahl waits.
He waits, and he's going to lose quite a bit of time there in his battle with Timothy Reed. but it does mean that Lescula continues on with the pacing. You see, he was just very cautious. Also, I love how he's able to find the gear stick while, you know, God, look at that movement there while driving in VR. Just a word on a couple of the retirees. Schumacher, Olsen have retired so far. See Lescula just loving life at the moment. He is having all types of fun.
Ian Haycox unfortunately got pushed out. Ooh, this was worth a replay. This is about 30 seconds ago. Ian Haycox got pushed out wide by Andrew Maddell going over the jump. Yeah, right here.
Okay, Andy, he's flashing. Oh, I don't think there was space there.
There wasn't, but he decided he was going to take it anyway, and Ian Haycox paid the price.
Oh, that is that's a bit of an unfortunate move there. Yeah, space is not there. And I don't know if that was just a multi-class miscommunication or not, but Maddell thought he could make it. And unfortunately, the car said no. So I think he is still out there driving. Unfortunately, he gets away with damage, but yet for Ian, sorry. I gotta remember which is which here. I must remember that. But Ian, it's not good. I must remember, Ian's the green, but even still, when you get both Haycoxes in the same class, you just gotta remind yourself who's who.
Absolutely, they're both quick, and they're both up there in top 5 positions most of the time. Unfortunately, Ian Haycox, though, had to take, he's taking repairs, so I believe I don't think he's already taken a spare car, but most of these Camel drivers aren't used to having one, so he might not check the box. But looking at this battle for 6th position between Jamie Hamill-Smith and Doug Cloud, that's Timothy Reed, 2nd place. The GTP is going by, and that is Doug Cloud letting Timothy Reed streak by before they go over the jump. Coming over the jump, both of them 4 wheels off the ground, and here comes Matthias Hovdal trying to get by both of them quickly. Not going to be able to do so as efficiently as he wanted, but not losing too much time.
Yeah, and if you just saw that little move there from Doug, he had to let the car go by before going up the uphill, and it just meant he was on a different line, and he lost a little bit of time because of that. This is Fernando Serrato now. He's in a battle with Alex Ramelow, and you see the traffic in front, and there goes Alex. He's gone. Unfortunately, he is gone, and that is the position there. That's kind of a commentator's curse. How many times have we gone through a battle and then something happens?
Yeah, all the time.
Yes. Yeah, that's unfortunately the way of racing as Timothy Reed in the background just starts to come by Fernando. It's crazy when you think just 4 drivers are on the lead lap right now. And that is Alex Ott, Timothy Reed, Matthias Hadval, and Andrew Maddell still on the lead lap.
Absolutely, so that's Timothy Reed streaking by Fernando Serrato, as we said. Serrato just trying to hang on at this point. Nice pass.
Lescula's off! Sorry, Lescula's gone off! Lescula is off at the left-hander, and he's overdone it! He's overcooked it.
Yeah, he took it too deep through Big Bend, ended up getting wide on the exit, and sends it into the grass. So that moves Lescula down to 3rd position behind Haycox and Del Olmo. Hugh Haycox, I should specify, and Del Olmo.
Now look at this. You can start to see, and I think he just... You remember we talk about how if there's no tire markings out there, it starts getting very greasy. I think he may have just got a bit too wide and just caught that greasy part of the track.
Yeah, he definitely got wide. I think his car fell off. There's a little bit of banking through Big Bend, and then the curb is flat. And sometimes it can drop that left rear tire off the banking onto the curb, and that'll upset the car. And when you're on the edge of grip, like Yuko tends to be, that can do it.
Yeah, well now that puts him 5 seconds behind Haycock, and a second between him and Del Olmo, so they might be able to revive that. But Ove Trangarate is still there in the background. He hasn't gone anywhere, and he's looking for a little bit of a fight himself. Every time I see these cars go over that crest, it's beautiful.
It's beautiful. It reminds me a little bit of the Nürburgring. You know, it's kind of
the Fliplands.
Yeah, exactly. It's a similar feel when you're driving it, though honestly a little more stressful, because through Plus there's lots of time to set up for that corner, for that jump. Here on Lime Rock, there's no time.
And not only that, but I think the Fliplands is a little bit more forgiving because of what's there. With here, you've got a tie wall on the left, you've got a track on the right with the chicane that they use nowadays, or the old chicane they used to use. It's very tough if you make a mistake here. You've got no give. Whereas if you're at the Nürburgring at the Flugplatz, you do have that little validation that you've got a gravel trap that would hopefully grab you in. But we've got this 3-car battle still between Del Olmo, Lescula, and Ove Trangarate.
I do want to make one more note about the fluke lots. Hopefully, y'all have seen the amazing Lotus 49 replay that we've had going for in the sizzle reels of the landing and the slide afterward. Just an amazing battle. Ove Trengray is starting to fall off the back now of Yuka Leskola, who's starting to catch up to Javier Dolomo. Looks like this fight might start once again. The car behind Ove Trengray is Timothy Vaughn, who is not battling him for position.
No, so I think Ove Trengray heard us about doing some sort of drifting and thought, hey, here's some grass, let me get some drifting myself. This is Alex Ott with a 2-second lead, and the traffic's not been kind to him. That gap has now started to come down a little bit, and Timothy Reed put his fastest lap in, and it's a 1.5 seconds faster than what Alex Ott did. So you start to think to yourself, maybe the ebbs and flows of multi-class traffic is just... I just raised my voice there because Alex Ramelow almost took out Yuka Leskola with a late move there. That's what I was going on about. The perils of multi-class traffic is really starting to show now.
Yeah, absolutely, riding on board with Timothy Reed as he goes over the jump one more time, trying to catch his way back up to Alex Ott. You know, he was within 1.5 seconds, now to 2.5 seconds. The traffic giveth and the traffic taketh away, and you really have to take what you can around here. But the more you take, the less the Audis will be willing to give, so you got to still be careful.
Got to be on your eyes here. What is it? Or is it the old joke that Palmer used to say in F1? You've got to be alert on a street circuit. You've got to be alert here. This is almost street circuit worthy. Now, just seeing here the number 1 car, Del Olmo. Del Olmo has managed to survive a big moment, and we're going to go and have a quick look right here. Oh, this is, yeah, that is Vernon Grau, and how he managed to survive that, I don't know.
So we're going to ride on board looking back at Farron Grau. Javier Dolomo takes it deep into the corner, and he turns to the apex, and Farron Grau says, nope, it's mine. And thank goodness that Javier Dolomo saw him coming. Otherwise, those two guys were going off into the tires.
Stop me if we've heard this before. Javier Del Olmo, Yuka Leskola, round 70 infinity. They just continue at it. They just keep going, and you start to see. I mean, it's so nice though when you get two guys that are constantly battling with each other, because the racing is respectful. We've seen it this week. We saw it a couple weeks ago as well. These two, they respect each other so much that they're going to race hard, but they're going to race clean.
Yeah, absolutely. They raced hard and they raced clean, but Doug Cloud just actually got moved a little bit by Daniel Gomez. I think it was net code, unfortunately, for him. So Doug Cloud is no longer in that battle with Jamie Hamill-Smith. He's now 10 seconds behind. But riding on board with Yuka Leskola, as you said, these two have been battling with each other for many a season now. And quite frankly, Javier Del Olmo has really improved his pace so that he could catch up with Yuka Leskola and be able to hold him off in certain situations. And so big props to Javier for his constant improvement season over season.
You can really see it as well. Another slide there. That's so fun seeing that on the onboard. You really start to see it, and he did get a victory this season. And of course, when we were talking so much about Hugh Haycock and how dominant he was in the GTPs, it really was just the Leskola show in the GTOs. And once again, he's waiting his time. Matthias Hadvald will come by. Just waiting his time. No need to send it here. You kind of can't send it here, to be fair, though, Adam. It's one of those that you have to be patient.
Yeah, you either have to be alongside or like definitely with a look to the inside in order to take it through that curve. But let me tell you, Big Bend, I've seen people make late dives at the Big Bend that have worked, but they're few and far between. Now, here's the thing. Yuka Leskola is faster than Javier Del Olmo and Hugh Haycock, but he can't seem to get past Del Olmo. And because of that, he got just under 17 minutes to go. Yuko had aspirations of winning this race, but he had his mistake too late. His unfortunate event happened too late in the race, and Hugh Haycock, who had his unfortunate event right at the beginning, is now leading.
Yes, but I want to just keep these eyes on the times, because Haycock did a 50. Del Olmo did a 49.7. Leskola did a 49.6. They are catching. That gap, as you can see, is now 2.5 seconds. The question now, rack your maths brains, everybody. Is it going to be enough? Do they have to start thinking about pushing? I think they may catch up. Will they battle for this fight, for this win? It's going to be a tough one.
Well, I'm wondering whether or not Javier Del Olmo is at the maximum that he can push. I know that Yuko's being a little patient, but he's also got some front left damage that may be affecting his drive off. Because remember, it's a four-wheel drive car. As soon as you punt in one of those corners, that wheel no longer drives for you. It becomes standard drive. And you may think, well, what's the problem? We got cars that are rear-wheel drive. Well, these cars are set up to be four-wheel drive. You knock out one of those wheels from pushing drive, it upsets the balance of the car and makes it extremely tight. And so that's what Rico's dealing with right now.
Yeah, the gap went down, but that mistake there from Del Olmo just held them both up. The gap is now going to 2 seconds. We'll keep eyes on that gap, but the battle between these two, it just opens and closes, and it's oh so close. And the mistakes that Del Olmo's making, it will get to the stage where, you know, Lesko's got to ask himself, I might need to get by, because if he doesn't, they may have an issue here. And here we go. This may cause an issue. Grau with a late move there, but manages to get it done, and everyone survives.
That's the second time in as many passes from Grau that Javier almost had the apex taken away from him by that driver. So I'm sure Javier is going to be sending him a Christmas card this year. Yuka Leskola now right on the back of Javier Del Olmo. These two have got to get going. The gap's not closing between Hugh Haycox and Del Olmo at the moment because of that lost time to Grau.
That lost time, and of course as well, because that meant Javier had to defend the inside as well. They can see Hugh in front, and it's got to be agonizing. And once again, here comes another car through, almost tapping Yuka Leskola there, but that's going to hold them up again. And really, at the moment, they're not trying to battle each other, but it almost feels like they're forced to.
Javier Del Olmo a little bit onto the grass there on the exit, going under the bridge. Now it's nose to tail, but they can't do anything because they got Alex Romalo. So look at this. Hugo Leskola trying to do it around the outside. Javier Del Olmo brakes at a regular time. These two guys are going to be side by side. And here is Alex, our leader. He's going to lose a ton of time with these two battling ahead of him.
Yeah, watch the gap there between Alex Ott and Timothy Reed, but look at this, Luco, yes, Leskola, he may have pulled this off. Has he managed to get this round the outside? He has, he's cut the door off for Javier, and Leskola sets it around the outside, then free wide, he's touching the grass, and now Del Olmo's going to catch that position back.
Absolutely duking it out from Del Olmo. We're right on board with Leskola. It's 3 wide, and that's Timothy Reed who sneaks his way through between Del Olmo, Leskola, and Carlos Eduardo Fernando Guerrera.
He was going no matter what happened. He just decided, full throttle, I'm going. The gap's there, I'm going for this. These two have lost a bit of time, though, to Hugh. But at the same time, we just seen Leskola go around the outside and make a move around the outside of the big bend. You don't do that, not in four-wheel drive cars like this either. And they're still pulling on Ove Trengerade. Granted, not this lap, but they're still pulling ahead of Ove Trengerade, even if they're losing to Hugh Haycox.
And Timothy Reed with that move, unbelievable. Now watch out here, that's Andrew Medel who's in the inside. They are able to make it by smoothly. Look at this, Yuka Leskola trying a different line. I found this line to be quick too, but just couldn't quite get it off. That was Andrew Medel, I believe.
Yeah, Andrew Medel. Yeah, Andrew Medel had
Alex
a moment.
Romalo, my bad.
Yeah, Andrew Medel had a moment, looked like it was at the left-hander. And then I don't know what happened to Romalo there. Medel comes into the pits, and these guys continue on, but I don't know if Leskola has the run now. I know we want to keep saying, oh, we don't want to heat up the tires. You could cook an omelette on this track right now, Adam. I'm pretty sure it's hot enough regardless what they're doing to the tires.
It's not quite boiling, but man, I mean, like, you get some pretty tasty stew out of this temperature. But look at this, Matthias Hoppel having to sneak his way through. Yuka Leskola needs to make this move soon because they're losing time now to Hugh Haycox as he slides it over the top of the hill.
How many times do I watch this? And it's just amazing because sometimes these GTO drivers, they are sideways when they're in the air. It is just amazing. Here is Leskola. This might be one of his best moments, and Del Olmo knows. Into the middle of the track he goes. He's so in the dummy. Leskola's going to go over this on the inside for the first time. His door gets cut off. Is there a response here at turn 2? Still an overlap. He's got this. And now there's still that overlap into the left-hander. He's trying to once. He's lost it.
Oh, Yuko just gets his rear tires into the grass. He's hanging on to him, but he has to put on the brakes because Fernando Serrano's on his outside. He doesn't want to get into him. He's going to lose that opportunity. These two are now 3 seconds behind Hugh Haycox. They've lost a second in this battle.
I don't think they care about Hugh Haycox anymore. They just want to have the time of their life right here. This is not Dirty Dancing, though. This is River Dance, if it feels like to me. They're having the time of their life.
Oh, Yuko makes contact.
Why? Did he hit the wall?
Yes, major contact with the outside wall going under the bridge.
Oh, no! And it just been sent into the pit lane. Miscommunication. You had a fast car. It was Farron Grau was not aware of it, and Farron Grau's in the wall. And wow! How do we? Right.
Well,
take it away, Adam. I've lost the words.
Here we go. So Yuko Leskola takes it to the inside here. He's a little bit wide on exit. That gets him into the grass, and he hits the outside wall really hard there. Now he's just trying to hang on to the car down here through the dipper, and he's going to try and make his way back to pit lane. Farron Grau tries to go to the normal line to try and avoid him. And unfortunately, he didn't realize Leskola was headed to the pits, because who thinks Leskola's going to go to the pits? Like in any race. And then hits the back of him.
I just want to say, in pool, that was a legal move. The ball came off the cushion, so it was a legal shot. That was Farron Grau's first shot of the match. Sorry, that's the pool terminology. Let's get back to the racing.
It was not his first attempt at a shot in the match, Craig. He's made a couple of other attempts, but that was his first successful shot of the match.
I don't even know where to go with that anymore. Deomo is now on his own with a 3.5 second lead. You've broken me, Adam. I'm sorry. Deomo with a 3-second lead. Look at the traffic. It still ebbs and flows. Not a lot of on-track battles at the moment. But it's just absolutely mind-boggling how it is still just a battle of survival. They've done 43 laps in these GTPs. And they've still got another 15 or so to go.
Absolutely. Alex Ott in the lead by 7 seconds over Timothy Reed right now. Timothy trying to hang on back there, but this traffic is just proving to be real challenging for these GTPs. We've lost at this point Andre Schumacher and Laust Olsen. Vincent Brera Ruiz has been in the pits for quite a while. Ian Haycox is back out on track, way down in the field, and Yuko Leskola had to take a tow because that punt into the tires blew his engine. He still has a spare car available to him, but tow time, I mean, Alex hanging on to it. Here's Hugh Haycox just leading this race by about 3.5 seconds over Javier Del Olmo at this point. And who was that parked? That was Xavier Vaca.
Yeah, Javier having another moment there. It is such a tough on the hill. It's nice for photo opportunities, but I think you kind of want to get going there if you're not too careful. Leskola has retired the car. You can make it. You can make it. You can make it. There you go. There you go. It is worrying, though. That is a blind crest. You really want to take your time to make sure you are going to be clear.
Yeah, he did. He found a nice gap, and he's going to keep going with some major toe damage. So that's a choice. That's going to be a tough race for him. Alex Ott still cutting his way through traffic, ducking his way down through the dipper, looking out the back of Alex Ott towards Andrew Medell, who's had his fair share of issues today. But guess what? Even Medell, with his fair share of issues, is in 5th position in the GTPs. The first car 2 laps down.
Yeah, he's a driver. We haven't seen a lot of him this season, I believe, due to work commitments. So not being able to make the broadcast races for some of the time, but we have seen him before in the races. So really showing the pace that he can prove and holding on to this car, because it's not easy regardless of the cars, and really just showing off that pace. Down he goes again, as you see Alex. I would say you could watch Alex, follow Alex, try and follow lines, but he's already a 1.5 seconds ahead of him. I mean, there's the context of 41.3 there from Alex, and it's a 42.5 from Medell. Alex is just in another level right now, and makes you wonder, if Hugh was in the GTPs, how far ahead would Alex be?
Well, yeah, like you said, Alex having other commitments, not able to make the season last season. Alex Ott challenged for the championship 2 seasons ago. And so, oh boy, Alex Ott having to deal with a little bit of trouble with Daniel Gomez misunderstanding Andreas Schuster's car movements there. Able to snake through, though, without much trouble. Still 10 seconds ahead of Timothy Reed. He gained 2 seconds on him last lap, but my goodness, I think at this point, we have about 17 cars left circulating on track at this point. out of our 23. So it's been an interesting race for sure as Alex Ramallo goes off again.
Yeah, Hugh Haycock's here is, well, he is currently just enjoying him. So you can see the gap because that 3.5 seconds has started to close a little bit there. For
sorry, we just had a gigantic incident between Alex Ramallo and Carlos Eduardo Fernandez Guerrera. And
wow.
Ramallo's on his lid on the inside of the Big Bend.
It's better when it's up the right way. Let's just have a quick look at this. I'm pretty sure the wheels are at the bottom of the car. Ramallo comes around, he loses it, overcooks it. We've all done it in the middle of turn 1 and turn 2. Gets caught up there at the wheel, and then comes the next car. This is Carlos. He comes by as well. Carlos, he's going to do the same. No.
And so here's the thing. Carlos thinks, he's going to the inside. I'll be fine. But then the wheels spin, and yeah. This is... Oh, man. It's crazy. This happens so often, I feel like, in iRacing. And I don't think it's a fault of iRacing, but people just trying to get up to speed, like you go by them, and they slide the tires and just steer right into you. And it's not any fault of their own either. It's just... The cars are hard to handle when they're damaged.
I've done it myself in a stock car in oval racing, I must be honest. I don't think I've taken anybody out, but I have done the proverbial spin.
Timothy Reed just lost second to Matthias Hovdahl.
Now, did he? Now, this is interesting. It looks like Reed has damage. Timothy Reed has some damage on the side of that car. Pretty sure that wasn't there the last time we looked at him. And Matthias is about to just go away with this. I'm pretty sure something's happened here to Timothy Reed.
I'm going back to look, and he's had that damage for a while. I'm not sure why he's quite that slow. Maybe he's just, okay, Craig, it's an exhibition. Maybe he just wants to battle.
Okay, Reed's damage.
Doug Cloud's gone around on the front stretch.
Oh,
and this is off the nose of Daniel Gomez.
It really has turned into a survival fest at the moment. I think there are 6 running GTPs out there at the moment. We've had another retirement, I believe. But yes, that damage from Reed was from the jump. So either he's been held up by traffic, and it looks like it is just a traffic issue there because Hadval is also now showing that same time. So it's got to be traffic, and Reed held up again as he goes up the uphill by Timothy Vaughan. Del Olmo is now by them as well. But there it is, Hadval and Reed, the closest battle on track as we see Alex Ott. He's almost done. With 3 minutes to go, I'm usually thinking, 2 laps left. No, add about 5 to that number.
Yeah, absolutely. So Alex has plenty of time to play with. He has about 11 seconds. And so he's being very cautious around Xavier Baca and able to get by. Andrew Medell, he's got about 18 seconds between himself and Fernando Serrato ahead of him. So no need to push Alex Ott either. So Ott's just trying to make it to the end of this race. And yeah, like you said, it's probably going to be about 4 or 5 more laps.
Yeah, they're starting lap 54. We're probably going to have 57 laps overall by the GTP front runners. So just to give you an idea, that's still pretty chaotic when you think about it. Like I said, you see 2 minutes left, and it's like, oh, wow, what a tweak there. You see 2 minutes left, and you're like, yeah, a lap or so left. It's not. Even for Hugh Haycock, he's going to probably have to do 1 less lap because by the time Alex comes around for his final lap, he may come up back to overtake you once again.
You know that lap counter that is shown in iRacing? You know how many laps have been done by people on the service? Well, Centripetal Circuit doesn't count. Lime Rock does. And over a 40-minute race with these cars, we're going to get about 57, 58 laps. Add that to the tally.
Add that to the tally. I'm just thinking because they do real world racing. I'll get my words out in a minute with the GT Daytona class for IMSA. For 2 hours and 40 minutes, you're almost doing about the same number of laps as you would do in a Daytona 24 in that type of pace. Yeah,
and it's just as stressful for those drivers. We see Alex Ott again. 1 minute to go, so this will be the penultimate lap that he will be starting this time by.
As Murray Walker would say, this is that penultimate lap, and he has to just navigate just a few cars, a few moving chicanes over Trangarate, the first one. just try and get that around the outside, nicely around. That's still a challenge regardless. And up ahead will be Javier Del Olmo and Timothy Vaughan. As you start to see, though, it's been one of those races where the gaps do not show the level of racing.
You know, these guys have been having an amazing race. I mean, like, this was a phenomenal race. We've seen a lot of contact, a lot of aggressive moves. I mean, for an exhibition, these guys put on a show. Alex Ott crossing the line, white flag this time. He's going to have to deal with Timothy Vaughan and Javier Del Olmo and snake around the outside. Nope, he thinks better of it. He's just going to play it safe.
Yeah, 5 seconds up the road is Hugh Haycock. I don't know if they will come together for one more lap, as Alex Ott is just letting them have their little battle. It's not for position, they're just having their drive. And on the day where GSRC celebrated 10 years, what another fantastic race to give to the masses. Hugh does start to slow down. We're going to see the winners of both classes come together as Alex Ott is there. There is Hugh Haycock. And after 40 minutes, it's Alex Ott from flag to flag takes the victory. And Hugh Haycock decides that he wants to take a GTO, and he takes it in considerable fashion.
Absolutely, Hugh Haycock's finishing with that win. Not quite the drifter that Yuko is, not quite the practice, but man, 10 years of GSRC and one of the most exciting series we cover, the Camel GT series, puts on a really great exhibition today.
It's been fantastic. Hugh does get that drift around. Drivers are now starting to come by. So we are going to take a quick break and we will come back with you with the final results. So do not go anywhere.
Racing isn't easy, but experiencing it is. iRacing puts you in the driver's seat with the industry's leading sim racing game. Drive on laser scan replicas of the greatest racing circuits from around the world. Go head-to-head against other drivers chosen by skill-based matchmaking to ensure competitive racing at every level. Compete across all your favorite series. In officially licensed cars, engineered to deliver the most accurate driving experience possible. Join a race or host your own with players from across the globe. Race against the computer or in a league with friends. Feel the thrill behind the wheel. Visit iRacing.com.
There's a bear in the woods.
Right, come on, you fatty. Come on, fatty.
I don't even know who lives in there or what the hell's going on there.
Could I sleep in there today? Oh, no room.
And we're on the way there. Ignore the fart. We go, and a bit of that, and a bit of...
Singers, James, singers I've got.
My pedal broke, man.
And thanks to Showdown Bros, Mickey's on the most useless street in the world. Come on!
Always keep a shoe in your kitchen department, guys. Don't worry, it's the COVID talking. It's probably wild boar, a few bears, a lot of women washing their cars saying hi on the side of the road.
Go on, Mick, feel it, Mick, feel it. I might be going mad.
Want to see me underwear?
Well, Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. I hope you had fun, because we definitely had fun here with this race. So let's go over those results. And as I said, flag to flag, it was Alex Ott who took the race and took it in quite considerable fashion. Matthias Hadvalberg getting a P2, making up 3 places. Timothy Reed finishing in P3. Fernando Serrato making moves as well in 4th, with Andrew Medell in 5th. Daniel Gomez comes home in 6th, and Alex Ramallo will be 7th. And then we get some of the cars that did have to take some damage and also retire. Carlos Eduardo Fernandez Guerrera in 8th, Ferran Grau in 9th, Hamilton Barretta Ruiz will be in 10th, and then we have Lars Olsen in 11th, Brian Henson in 12th, Aitor Sintes Galindo was not a starter. I believe he was just there for the control, so everybody else was non-runners, and those GTOs, well, I mean, it's all yours, Adam.
Absolutely. Hugh Haycock's taking the win today, with Javier Omo finishing in 2nd position. Ove Trangrade in a little bit of a distant 3rd. Andreas Schuster tried his best today, but came home in 4th, with Jamie Hamill-Smith in 5th. And then a lap down, Timothy Bond 6th, Doug Cloud 7th, Xavier Baca in 8th position. John Olsen, the last car to finish, in 9th, with Ian Haycock's, well, Ian did finish, but not the finish that he wanted. And then our DNF, Sikolesko, Andre Schumacher, Ron Reek, and Pasi Hadamaki did not start.
So yeah, we started in the end with 24 drivers, and that was it. And this man beat everybody at the end. It was Alex Alt. And Alex, first of all, how fun was that, navigating the traffic?
This was really fun. Really hard to do sometimes. Even when there's Audi's battling and you can't get past, it can get frustrating, but you have to be patient, and I think I was just patient enough this race.
Yeah, this to me almost feels like an endurance race at sometimes, with that patience, especially with that very tricky moment. You've got the hill there as well. What is it like taking a car like a Nissan GTP over that little jump? Because it looked like it was very hands-on.
Well, you have to put the steering wheel straight before the jump. If you don't have the steering wheel straight, you end up in the wall. That's the short version of it.
Yeah, we did see quite a few slide there, and I think there was some moments as well. It looked like you're having a nice little battle early in the race, but unfortunately, it just didn't turn out there. It was just at the end a battle of survival. Now, we know you don't get a chance sometimes for the broadcast. Will we be seeing you sometimes for some cameos next season for the Camel GT?
Oh yeah, for sure. Next season I'm going to race the Nissan, but as well the Audi. I'm gonna let the track depend on which car I choose. I find both cars really, really fun to drive. So.
Yeah, of course. And I mean, don't forget, you also do have the Road America 500, so I hope you'll be able to make a choice for that as well. Is there any shout outs you'd like to give, Alex, before we let you get on your way?
Yeah, big thanks to Aitor Sintes. He came up with the idea of this race and hosting this race, also hosting a few races early this week. So thank you, Aitor. Have a nice weekend.
Yeah, Alex, thank you very much. Congratulations on the victory of this. I know it's a fun race, but a win is still a win. That was Alex Alt there, and I believe Adam has been talking to Hugh Haycox.
Yeah, you're gonna have to watch the replay to hear that moment, Hugh. But yeah, congratulations on the win today. Very storied race for sure. You know, a little bit of contact, a little bit of traffic, but you ended up coming ahead with the consistency and coming home with the win. Talk to me about your race today.
Yeah, it was a pretty fun race, really. I guess it's fun when you finish, but yeah, it was. I think Yuko probably should have won it, but I think he got bored and started waiting for me, and then got punted off the road. But yeah, it was a good race. I didn't put enough fuel in, so I had to do quite a bit of fuel saving, and yeah, it was quite fun, really, all things considered.
Absolutely. And, you know, obviously the jump and the traffic around here being a challenge. I did want to ask you a question, though. You know, jumping into the Audi for this race, I've been hearing rumors that you might be jumping into the Audi for the entirety of next season. Is that true?
Those rumors might be very true. Yeah, new challenge. I really enjoyed driving it at Daytona, so I'm going to give it a go for a season and see if I can challenge the quick guys.
Absolutely. You're going to have to pass your dad first.
Yeah.
Well, Hugh, big congratulations on winning this race. Is there anyone you want to thank before we let you go?
Well, I'd like to say congratulations on 10 years at GSRC. It's pretty cool. And great broadcast earlier today. Very much enjoyed it.
Well, thanks so much for watching, Hugh, and thanks so much for driving for us. It's awesome to see you in the series in Camel, and we look forward to seeing you next week when we start the season.
Cool thing. See you later.
As Hugh Haycock's the winner of the GTO class here today at the exhibition, and we have caught up. Craig's caught up with Jamie Hamill-Smith, who raced today as well.
Yeah, managed to catch up to Jamie Hamill-Smith, who finishes in 5th position. It felt at one stage, Jamie, it was quite a war of attrition there with everybody all bunched up, but at the end, it looked like it was a battle for survival for you out there.
Yeah, absolutely. I was again really glad to be in that lead group at the beginning. Then I got spun, and it was just fighting with Doug. I was just chasing Doug, trying to catch him. It was a lot of fun.
Talk me through, because at the end of the day, like we always say, this is a special event. It's a host event, so there's not a lot of like money. There's no money. There's no, it's just more bragging rights. How do you prepare yourself for something like that? And like, how do you go through not the enjoyment factor, but how do you go and tell yourself and have the fun here? Do you look for those battles instead of just driving around?
Well, I mean, Lime Rock is one of those funny tracks in Camel. Even if you're not in the midst of a battle, your job is essentially to avoid that attrition that you talked about. So that becomes the mini game. Like, the meta shifts when you don't have a lot of cars around you, and all of a sudden it's about trying to be quick while being passed or while passing back markers. So in general, for a race like this where there's no championship points or iRating on the line, it's just about practicing for me and just trying to have a good time.
And of course, one thing I have to ask, did you enjoy surviving the hill?
Well, I felt really bad because I got through, but one or two people behind me I see didn't. So I definitely felt like I was the lucky one. Yeah, that was a big incident.
Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, you did survive, and of course, a finish is a finish, especially in a race like this. Is there anybody you'd like to shout out before we let you go for your day?
Yeah, I just want to say thanks to Aitor for setting it up. Thanks to you guys for broadcasting it, and just thanks to the community for being so awesome this season. I'm just really looking forward to next season. See you guys at Sebring.
Yeah, we will see you. That was Jamie Hamill-Smith. We look forward to seeing him back on the track. And I think we do have one more. Adam's managed to find the man who's in charge of this. I wouldn't call it chaos, but in charge of this race. Adam is with Aitor Sintes Galindo.
Yeah, Aitor, thanks so much for putting this on. It was a blast to watch. A really great race put on by everybody who joined us today. What are your thoughts after that event?
Well, that thing that you have in your mind is like, I can't believe that worked. It was so smooth from start to finish. Honestly, it's from reaching out to you guys to accept hosting it, to host the race itself. Well, until today, this week, I never hosted the race itself. And it went so smoothly. I had to do a sheriff. I think I went fair enough. So yeah, it's been an absolute blast, and hopefully everybody has enjoyed it.
We definitely did. Some epic racing, some fantastic passes, a crazy 3-wide pass over the top of the hill with contact from Timothy Reed. I mean, one of the things I love about the Camel series is just how crazy and chaotic it can be. But what led you to decide to pick Lime Rock today? Because that's a gutsy call.
Well, let's say experience, because actually I raced here like 2 or 3 times. I don't remember correctly, but one of them was the runoff of a championship. And I remember it was absolute chaos, and I was today was 25 cars. Imagine 40 or 55. So imagine that times 2, and people running for the points and everything, and no spare cars. So you can imagine that. But like, yeah, but since after the amazing job that Jory is doing for the schedule and having to remove, let's say, short tracks like this one, it's like people are missing these races, and I said, okay, how about let's not do an official race, but rather an unofficial one with actually commentators as you guys as usual, and it's like, no, why not? Let's go for it, and here we are. And I'm so glad that it went through so smoothly and everything. So yeah, I'm so happy for it.
Well, congratulations, Ator, on a successful event. I vote for Daytona Moto for the next one. Is there anyone you want to thank for putting this on today?
Well, as usual, you guys for the amazing broadcast. As usual, it's congratulations also for the 10 years, and the Camel community as usual for and to each and everyone who joined today. So yeah, thanks for everybody joining and accepting this crazy race. And thank you guys, and see you next week at Sebring.
That was Ator Sentes Galindo, the organizer of this event. Back to you, Craig.
Thank you, Adam. That is going to wrap it up for the day. And a fantastic day overall this weekend. So thanks to the team, Adam, Ryan, and Dougie. And make sure to check out our social medias, our website, and the merchandise store. And do not forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel so you do not miss a moment here on GSRC. Now, as everyone's been talking about, our next race will be next Saturday, March 18th, noon Eastern. It's going to be Sebring. And also, don't forget to check out our other broadcasters that will be listed here. But until next time, race clean, race hard, and we will see you on the track.